One introduction. Rosep view: the United States government was on track in the Biden administration to reduce the prices for both clean energy heat pumps and clean energy electric cars. Trump tariffs are expected to upset those plans to prevent future air pollution and prevent climate change. The United States government should, instead of certifying wood stoves as safe when they are not safe, go forward with regulations that ban wood stove use and direct government money for use of forest refuse only. For home building and furniture building, for just a few examples of use of forest products for non-burning uses, it is well known from scientific and medical research that wood burning is a substantial source of PM 2.5 emissions, yet the wood burning industry uses the scientifically debunked theory named carbon neutrality of wood burning to argue that wood burning replacing coal burning in industry and in a trickle-down argument that wood burning should continue for home heating should continue. Presumably because it is called renewable, wood may be renewable in the sense that a tree can be planted in the place of a cut-down burned tree, but it takes centuries or decades for the newly planted tree to attain the stature of the cut-down burned tree. During those centuries or decades, photosynthesis, which converts CO2 to oxygen and so sequesters some carbon, will not take place at the same rate as photosynthesis was performed previously, and wood burning emits both CO2 and PM 2.5, and PM 2.5 is not absorbed by trees, so PM 2.5 is not diminished by planting a tree in the place of a cut-down and burned tree. In fact, a living tree closes its pores against the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning, just as humans hold their breath in the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning. And when a tree closes its pores, the level of photosynthesis that absorbs CO2 pollution goes down. Wood burning emits 90% PM 2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lungs, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Contrary to many beliefs, wood burning emits 2.8 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel coal burning, and wood burning emits 450 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel natural gas burning. Replacing coal burning with wood burning creates more air pollution in the form of CO2 and PM 2.5 than coal burning. This emission data comes from testing the cleanest burning wood stove in the United Kingdom, the Eco-Design Wood Stove and International Convention does not count the emissions from wood burning. The emissions from wood burning are erased from all countries around the world when calculating if each country has met its climate goals. This non-counting or erasure of wood burning emissions data from climate goals does not mean wood burning emissions do not exist. Rosep view: purple air PM 2.5 monitors hanging from the eaves of the house of a near neighbor should be used to measure the level of PM 2.5 in the air hyperlocally in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. If PM 2.5 levels exceed World Health Organization standards of 5 micrograms per cubic meter annually, then that evidence of air pollution from wood burning should lead to the shutdown of that indoor residential wood burning appliance, one appliance at a time if necessary. Episode 57 DU March 2nd, 205 Organic farmers sue when U.S. government AG website goes down. In episode 57 DU 1 Organic farmers sue when U.S. government AG website goes down. 2 North and South Carolina multiple wildfires. 3 United States pro-Ukraine rallies held across the U.S. 4 United States media reaction about Ukraine. 5 Ukraine Odessa. Trump does not understand who the aggressor is. 6 United States and Trump: the United States need to talk about the lying. Main content. 1 New York, Binghamton, and Washington, D.C. Organic farmers sue when U.S. government AG website goes down. Lawsuit for plaintiff. Organic farmers filed by Earth Justice against the U.S. Federal Agricultural Department. Farmers sue over deletion of climate data from government websites. The data, which disappeared from Agriculture Department sites in recent weeks, was useful to farmers for business planning. The lawsuit said. Rosep key excerpt: you can purge a website of the words climate change, but that doesn't mean climate change goes away. Excerpts edited by Rosep for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. The Guardian, February 24, 2025. Organic farmers and environmental groups sued the Agriculture Department on Monday over its scrubbing of references to climate change from its website. The department had ordered staff to take down pages focused on climate change on January 30th, 2025. According to the suit, which was filed in the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York, within hours it said information started disappearing that included websites containing data sets, interactive tools, and funding information that farmers and researchers relied on for planning and adaptation projects. According to the lawsuit, at the same time the department also froze funding that had been promised to businesses and nonprofits through conservation and climate programs. The purge then removed critical information about these programs from the public record, denying farmers access to resources they need to advocate for funds they are owed. It said the suit was filed by lawyers from Earth Justice based in San Francisco and the Knight First Amendment Institute at Columbia University on behalf of the Northeast Organic Farming Association of New York based in Binghamton, the Natural Resources Defense Council based in New York, and the Environmental Working Group based in Washington. The latter 2 groups relied on the department website for their research and advocacy. The lawsuit said. A lawyer for Earth Justice said the pages purged were crucial for farmers facing risks linked to climate change. The websites had contained information about how to mitigate dangers and adopt new agricultural techniques and strategies. Long-term weather data and trends are valuable in the agriculture industry for planning, research, and business strategy. You can purge a website of the words climate change, but that doesn't mean climate change goes away, the plaintiffs allege. The actions violated 3 federal laws and were arbitrary, capricious, and abuse of discretion, or otherwise not in accordance with law. They asked the court to compel the agency to restore the pages and to block it from deleting any others. The president of the board of Northeast Organic Farming Association of New York, Neofany, said that farmers were planning for the summer growing season. He said taking information down because of a political agenda about climate change was senseless. He has been farming in Livingston Manor, New York, in the Catskill Mountains for 30 years and now raises Icelandic sheep there. He had previously grown vegetables for a community-supported agriculture program, but stopped about 20 years ago when his operation was wiped out by 3 floods in 5 years. The president of Neofany said his organization is the largest organic certifier in New York State, which is a major hub for small farms. 2 North and South Carolina multiple wildfires in North and South Carolina force evacuations. Emergency unfolds amid warnings throughout Southeast over dry and windy conditions that exacerbate wildfires. Excerpts edited by Rosep for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. organization, The Guardian, March 2, 2025. Several wildfires were reported on Saturday in North and South Carolina, forcing evacuations. The emergency unfolded amid warnings throughout the southeast over dry and windy conditions that exacerbate wildfires in Polk County, North Carolina. Officials set up an emergency shelter as a brush fire encompassing 400 to 500 acres swept an area between the communities of Tryon and Saluda, about 40 miles south of Asheville. The South Carolina governor issued a statewide burn ban. Due to the wildfire risks on Saturday night, our first responders and firefighters are risking their lives to contain many fires across South Carolina tonight. 3 United States. Pro-Ukraine rallies held across the U.S. after Trump-Zelensky clash. U.S. News. Pro-Ukraine. Protests erupt across U.S. after Trump and Vance ambush. Zelensky demonstrators surge in Vermont, New York City, and Boston after Oval Office debacle, with U.S. President and Vice President excerpts edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. A 501c3 nonprofit organization, The Guardian, March 1, 2025. Protests against the Trump administration erupted across the U.S. on Saturday. Protesters held signs reading Vermont stands with Ukraine and international embarrassment, while many waved Ukrainian flags in solidarity. Fox blurred out signs displaying messages against Vance and in favor of Ukraine. Vance, who admitted Friday he has never been to Ukraine, fled to an undisclosed location to evade protesters. European leaders, along with the prime ministers of Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, posted messages of support for Ukraine. Leading Democratic lawmakers also rallied to the side of Zelensky, with one the Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut calling the Oval Office meeting an ambush of the Ukrainian president by Trump and Vance. The aggressive meeting led to protests in cities and towns across the U.S., including New York, Los Angeles, and Boston, where hundreds gathered to express their support for Ukraine. In Los Angeles County, a pro-Ukraine crowd rallied in front of the Musk SpaceX facility, and protesters in Boston held an emergency rally for fair peace for Ukraine at Boston Common. Zelensky posted video of his warm reception in London on social networks, showing crowds of supporters lining the street outside Downing Street, where he was embraced by the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. 4 United States media reaction about Ukraine. Bewildering. U.S. media and politicians react to the Trump televised attack on Zelensky. The showdown between the U.S. president and the Ukrainian leader dumbfounded various outlets and politicos. Excerpts edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. A 501c3 nonprofit organization, The Guardian, March 1, 2025. It is bewildering to see the Trump allies defending this debacle as some show of American strength, the conservative-leaning Wall Street Journal editorial board said on Saturday, noting that U.S. aims of limiting Russian expansionism without the use of U.S. forces was now harder to achieve. The outlet warned that turning Ukraine over to Putin would be catastrophic for that country and Europe, but it would be a political calamity for Trump, too. Some conservative political figures also hit out at their fellow Republicans Trump and Vance for their handling over the meeting. I hate to say this, but the United States right now is not the good guys in this, said Adam Kinzinger, the former Republican congressman from Illinois, who once served on a House committee that investigated the attack by Trump supporters on the U.S. Capitol in early 2021. Whether diplomatic relations between Ukraine and the U.S. can be repaired remained an open question Saturday, but the dispute points to the dangers of conducting diplomacy in public. Despite the assessment from Trump, a former reality TV host, that the clash with his Ukrainian counterpart, an ex-actor, made great television. Arriving in London on Saturday ahead of a summit of British and European leaders, Zelensky thanked the U.S. and its leadership while voicing hope for strong relations. We want only strong relations with America, and I really hope we will have them, he said. European leaders have stood behind Zelensky, with the German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier saying he would never have believed that we would one day have to protect Ukraine from the USA. The French President Emmanuel Macron said, if someone is gambling with the Third World War, as Trump accused Zelensky of doing on Friday, it was not Zelensky. If anyone is gambling with World War III, his name is Vladimir Putin, said Macron after Trump complained that Zelensky had been overly negative about the Russian dictator. 5 Ukraine, Odessa. Trump does not understand who the aggressor is. Fatigue and anger in Odessa. Russian attacks on Ukrainian city that was initially spared worst have increased since Washington. Moscow. Détente. Excerpts edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. A 501c3 nonprofit organization, The Guardian. Sunday, March 2, 2025. Last week, the Kremlin dispatched a record 267 drones on the 3rd anniversary of the Russian full-scale invasion. Over the weekend, 2 civilians have been killed and at least 20 injured in raids across the country. Each strike brings fresh misery to a war-weary population, and latterly, they fan something else: anger at Trump, whose humiliating treatment of Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday in the White House caused outrage and dismay. Even before the car crash encounter in the Oval Office, there was consternation over the Trump increasing closeness to Moscow. Trump has blamed Ukraine for starting the war that began with the Russian 2014 invasion and was accused by Zelensky of existing in a Russian disinformation bubble. On Friday, Washington terminated its program to help repair the disrupted energy grid of Ukraine. Deliveries of U.S. weapons could soon stop as well. Everything is back to front after 3 years of war. I am astounded. Trump does not understand who the aggressor is, Palash said, showing off the gutted laboratory of her clinic. Back at the clinic, she suggested the Kremlin and the White House were working together to get rid of Zelensky. This is our affair. Zelensky is our president. He got 73% of the vote. We should decide, she said, adding Trump just wants our resources. Her colleague, a Ukrainian man, agreed. Ukraine has to be Ukraine. We will not compromise. We have to keep going until Russia is defeated. 6 United States and Trump. The United States need to talk about the lying. Excerpts edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. A 501c3 nonprofit organization, The Guardian. March 1, 2025. During his campaign, Trump promised the moon. He promised he would not cut Social Security. He vowed to protect Medicare. He promised he would lower the cost of housing, groceries, and other necessities. necessities, he promised cheaper eggs, he promised, but Trump is not known for his honesty, just the opposite. He is notorious for stiffing people and reneging on contracts. And true to form, almost none of the promises Trump made to the American people, the promises he made to win a second term in office, were truthful. Virtually all of them were lies. We know they are lies, because his administration has thus far done the precise opposite of what he said he would do to Trump. Allies, specifically Elon Musk, are taking an axe to the offices that run the programs, such as Social Security, that Trump said he would protect. The Republican budget would require hundreds of billions of dollars in cuts to Medicaid and SNAP, which would harm millions of Trump supporters. Those of us in the business of professional political commentary are not so comfortable labeling lies as lies and labeling liars as the liars which they are. To say that something is a lie is to make a claim about a mental state of a person, and that takes evidence. We may not have it. Is true that we cannot peer into the psyches of politicians and public figures. We do have the help of past behavior, and the Trump past behavior tells us that he is a liar who will say whatever he needs to get a vote. Trump lied actively and without remorse. He misled the entire country, and in the alternate scenario in which he told the truth, where he was forthright and honest about his plans for the United States, there is a strong chance that he would have lost the election. Given the staggering unpopularity of his current agenda, the fact that Trump lied about his plans makes it all the more likely that the public will push back with force as soon as it has the chance. If Trump won on pocketbook issues, then it is hard to imagine he will successfully weather the reaction that is certain to come if his actions cause a recession.
One introduction. Rosette View. The United States government was on track in the Biden administration to reduce the prices for both clean energy heat pumps and clean energy electric cars. Trump tariffs are expected to upset those plans to prevent future air pollution and prevent climate change. The United States government should, instead of certifying wood stoves as safe when they are not safe, go forward with regulations that ban wood stove use and direct government money for use of forest refuse only for home building and furniture building. For just a few examples of use of forest products for non-burning uses, it is well known from scientific and medical research that wood burning is a substantial source of PM 2.5 emissions, yet the wood burning industry uses the scientifically debunked theory named carbon neutrality of wood burning to argue that wood burning replacing coal burning in industry, and in a trickle-down argument that wood burning should continue for home heating should continue, presumably because it is called renewable. Wood may be renewable in the sense that a tree can be planted in the place of a cut-down burned tree, but it takes centuries or decades for the newly planted tree to attain the stature of the cut-down burned tree. During those centuries or decades, photosynthesis, which converts CO2 to oxygen and so sequesters some carbon, will not take place at the same rate as photosynthesis was performed previously, and wood burning emits both CO2 and PM 2.5, and PM 2.5 is not absorbed by trees, so PM 2.5 is not diminished by planting a tree in the place of a cut-down and burned tree. In fact, a living tree closes its pores against the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning, just as humans hold their breath in the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning. And when a tree closes its pores, the level of photosynthesis that absorbs CO2 pollution goes down. Wood burning emits 90% PM 2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Contrary to many beliefs, wood burning emits 2.8 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel coal burning, and wood burning emits 450 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel natural gas burning. Replacing coal burning with wood burning creates more air pollution in the form of CO2 and PM 2.5 than coal burning. This emission data comes from testing the cleanest burning wood stove in the United Kingdom. The Eco-Design Wood Stove International Convention does not count the emissions from wood burning. The emissions from wood burning are erased from all countries around the world when calculating if each country has met its climate goals. This non-counting or erasure of wood burning emissions data from climate goals does not mean wood burning emissions do not exist. Rosette View. Purple air. PM 2.5 monitors hanging from the eaves of the house of a near neighbor should be used to measure the level of PM 2.5 in the air hyperlocally in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. If PM 2.5 levels exceed World Health Organization standards of 5 micrograms per cubic meter annually, then that evidence of air pollution from wood burning should lead to the shutdown of that indoor residential wood burning appliance, one appliance at a time if necessary.